Good day, everyone. Big updates are coming for Social Security, SSI, and SSDI recipients. These new developments could directly affect your monthly checks and even bring you extra relief. Before we break it all down, remember, these updates are not rumors. They're real proposals and scheduled announcements that millions of Americans are waiting on. Social Security recipients could receive a $1,400 one-time payment. Here's the proposal and what needs to happen next. Yes, you heard it right. Social Security recipients could receive a $1,400 one-time payment. This proposal is being discussed as a direct way to give seniors and disability recipients financial relief at a time when many are struggling with inflation, rising housing costs, and prescription expenses. Social Security recipients could receive a $1,400 one-time payment. Here's the proposal and what needs to happen next. The idea behind this proposal comes from advocacy groups such as the Senior Citizens League, TSCL, which has been lobbying Congress to take urgent action. Major change to Social Security coming next week and how it could benefit your paycheck. The second big headline is a major change scheduled to take effect very soon. Millions of Social Security beneficiaries should prepare for this shift because it directly affects how you receive your money. Major change to Social Security coming next week and how it could benefit your paycheck. The first part of this change involves the cost of living adjustment, COLA update, which we'll discuss in detail in a moment. But the second part has to do with payment delivery methods. Social Security recipients could receive a $1,400 one-time payment. Here's the proposal and what needs to happen next. Their argument is straightforward. While annual COLA increases are meant to help, the reality is that inflation has outpaced Social Security benefits for decades. A one-time $1,400 payment could give millions of seniors some breathing room in the middle of this financial storm. Why $1,400 specifically? According to TSCL, that number matches earlier federal relief payments that were distributed during the pandemic, which provided temporary but meaningful support to households. Seniors and those on disability argue that they deserve a similar targeted relief, especially since their benefits are losing buying power year after year. For context, the average Social Security benefit for men is about $18,000 annually, while for women it's closer to $14,000 annually. That's not much to survive on in today's economy, especially when you consider housing, healthcare, and daily essentials. Adding a $1,400 boost could mean covering months of medication, groceries, or utility bills. However, here's the key. This proposal needs congressional approval. Without lawmakers passing it into law, it won't become reality. That's why advocacy groups are urging seniors to contact their representatives, sign petitions, and push for action before the end of this legislative session. Starting at the end of this month, paper checks will no longer be sent out for most Social Security payments. Instead, beneficiaries will be required to use direct deposit or another approved electronic method. The reason behind this change is to reduce delays, prevent lost checks, and save administration costs. For most people already enrolled in direct deposit, nothing changes. But for those still receiving paper checks, this is critical. You'll need to enroll in direct deposit through the Social Security Administration, or risk delays in getting your benefits. There are some exemptions. If you live in an area without access to a financial institution, or if direct deposit creates specific hardships, you can apply for an exception. Still, the majority of recipients will need to make the switch. This move also ties back to security. Paper checks are easier targets for fraud and theft. By shifting to electronic payments, SSA aims to safeguard benefits while ensuring seniors get their money on time. Social Security beneficiaries will learn their 2026 Cost of Living Adjustment, COLA, in October. The Social Security Administration calculates the COLA using consumer price data, particularly changes in categories that carry more weight in the CPIW, such as housing, transportation, and groceries. If prices rise in these areas, it could significantly affect the model's projections. Social Security beneficiaries will learn their 2026 Cost of Living Adjustment, COLA, in October. The Social Security Administration calculates the COLA using consumer price data, particularly changes in categories that carry more weight in the CPIW, such as housing, transportation, and groceries. If prices rise in these areas, it could significantly affect the model's projections. This update is critical because COLA determines how much your monthly Social Security check will increase in 2026. Right now, projections suggest that the new COLA could be around 2.7%, which would translate into an increase of about $54 to $57 per month for the average recipient. But here's where things get interesting. Lawmakers such as Congressman John Larson and Senator Bernie Sanders are pushing for a shift from the CPIW, Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, to the CPIE, Consumer Price Index for the elderly. Why does this matter? The CPIW doesn't accurately reflect senior spending habits. It's based more on working-age households, which don't prioritize healthcare and prescription costs the way seniors do. The CPIE, on the other hand, places heavier weight on medical expenses, housing, and food, areas where seniors spend the bulk of their income. Switching to CPIE could result in larger annual COLA increases, possibly adding $300 to $500 more per year for seniors and disability recipients. That's not just an adjustment, that's a meaningful boost to long-term financial security. These three developments, the proposed $1,400 one-time payment, the major delivery change to Social Security payments, and the upcoming 2026 COLA announcement, represent some of the most significant updates in years. It's important to recognize that while the $1,400 relief payment is still just a proposal, the COLA announcement and direct deposit transition are concrete changes that will affect millions. Advocates argue that without stronger reforms, Social Security will continue to lose buying power. For example, research shows benefits have lost nearly 40% of their purchasing power since the early 2000s. That's why seniors are pushing harder than ever for Congress to take bold steps. Congressman John Larson has introduced the Social Security 2100 Act, which aims to both strengthen the trust fund and provide more generous COLA adjustments. But debates in Washington, particularly over funding and tax policies, continue to stall progress. Meanwhile, President Trump has floated proposals to eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits. While this sounds appealing on the surface, critics warn that without a proper funding mechanism, it could drain the trust fund faster, leading to across-the-board benefit cuts by 2030. That's why this October's COLA announcement will be watched closely, not only for the number itself, but for the broader debate about how Social Security should be modernized to meet today's challenges. So here's the bottom line. If Congress approves it, you could see a $1,400 one-time payment in your account. Next week, expect a major shift in how benefits are delivered, with direct deposit becoming the standard. And in just a few days, we'll know the official COLA for 2026, which will decide how much your monthly check grows. Stay informed, stay proactive, and don't forget, your voice matters. Lawmakers respond when seniors and disability recipients speak up. Thank you for tuning in. If you found this update helpful, make sure to share it so others know what's at stake.